This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
And there we go. The signature open, and look who it is. Deborah and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Of course, he's got the big eagle draped over his shoulder, and he's coming in to, a hero's welcome. How about that? All of the Alliance, the former WCW guys and the former ECW guys now together. You see Taz on a chair in the back. That's something you can rib him about at TV, I'm sure. This is, I've always thought the Invasion, I think everybody agrees, was a bit of a bungled deal. And the idea that he's sort of leading the rally cry for the opposition is a little weird.
Yeah, it was unique, but the main thing that I will agree with is that the angle was bungled, because anytime you cut one short that you have more legs and longer legs, that's a little rough to handle. And this was a good story, and it got good numbers. It was just it was challenging to manage. We got a bunch of new guys in the locker room, and everybody reacts differently when they move to a new home. So, but my only concern was, looking back at it, was we could have gotten more out of it if we had, if we had moved forward with it. So that was a little bit disappointing.
So you see the guys here are all wearing Austin 316 shirts or Steve Austin shirts, and they're trying to show him how much they appreciate him. And, of course he's saying, I'm going to lead by example tonight. And if Kurt Angle shows his little face here tonight, I got plenty more. So we're sort of giving high fives all around that he did not lose the world title. And, the troops are excited to see him. So it's a little hokey, a little corny, but, Monday Night Raw, here we go, man. It's Steve Austin Appreciation Night from the Alliance. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to Grillin' JR with the voice of wrestling, Mr. Jim Ross. Jim, how are you, man?
I'm good, Connie. Good. This should be a fun show. Haven't seen this show since we did it live. So people sometimes don't understand that. But man, when you're working, it's like the ratings thing. The Wednesday Night Wars, and what demo did this, and who did the overall, all that crap. The bottom line is, this show we were so busy back in those days, certainly in my world, having two jobs as a broadcaster and as an administrator, that I didn't go back and watch these shows. And maybe I should have. I didn't boycott them. I just had other things I had to do that were time sensitive. So nonetheless, these shows are fun for me because I go back and reminisce and see things I'd forgotten about and what this guy was wearing and all these good things. So it's always a fun trip. So we'll have fun today too, no doubt.
And look at this open with all the Hall of Famers. It's one after another. And I have a feeling somebody on this same show signed almost all of these folks.
How about that? Blind squirrel finds an acorn every now and then, Conrad. I got lucky a few times, no doubt about that. But our talent relations team, did the work. And of course, there's the traditional show open, the big pyro, the fans, it's packed. Where were we this show? Do you know?
Yeah, we were in Sacramento, and
yeah, that's right.
Meltzer wrote, all I can say about Raw from Sacramento is that I'm glad I wasn't there live, and I'm even gladder I didn't pay for this. But of course, Monday Night Raw is free.
Right. Yeah. Well, bless his heart. The people that were there that filled that house seemed to be having a good time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And look at the crowd shots, packed, absolutely packed. So this is going to be a massive cluster here. There's more bodies in there. This is a good illustration because I never could quite figure everything out, even in today, thinking back on it, of the disorganization and the lack of booking symmetry that we had or didn't have involving this angle. The invasion angle was probably the most underproductive TV angle that we did to have that much potential.
Underwhelming. Yeah, I agree totally. The idea is this is a dream scenario that was really I don't know, cultivated by the old aftermags. For years and years, you'd pick up one of those magazines at the grocery store and it would have these fantasy matchups on the front. Hey, what would happen if Shawn Michaels wrestled the Giant? What would happen if Sting wrestled the Undertaker? What would happen if Hulk Hogan wrestled Ric Flair? And now we finally get the two companies working together here under one banner, thanks to the buyout, and it can become a reality. But unfortunately, a lot of those top stars are still under those guaranteed contracts from Turner, and they're getting paid to sit home. So they're not really apt to take a pay cut and go to work. And I don't say that I blame them. And I know a lot of our listeners probably take issue with that and think, oh, well, if you love wrestling, then you should have went in there and done that. But the reality is, if I get paid more to sit at home, who picks anything else, Jim?
No, nobody that's got a brain. It also allows your body to heal. You also have to think about those guys who are getting those big checks for mailbox money, which is my favorite kind.
Yeah.
They were not getting any younger. So their bodies, I say that, well, that means they should have come back because they're losing time. That's one way of looking at it. But the other way of looking at it is the fact that their bodies needed healing. And you get better, you feel better, you just get, your health gets better. You're over a lot of those little nagging issues. But we were never forgiven by this. And it was pointed out time and time again, every newsletter. Well, they don't have the whole team there, blah, blah, blah. And well, we knew that. God damn, that's not a revelation. But what are you going to do? You're going to drag the NWO out of their homes, kicking and screaming, and forsake those massive checks they got every single week from Time Warner? Hell no. There's no motivation there. They were ready. They liked it. I'm like you, Conrad. I don't blame those guys one bit, not one bit. But it was a situation where you hope that some of these guys that we did bring in, somebody might break through, somebody might break out. And quite honestly, that really never happened.
Let's recap to everybody who's listening at home and maybe not watching exactly what's happening in the ring right now. We've got Scotty 2 Hotty teaming up with APA, Billy Gunn, Big Show, and Spike Dudley. That's going to be Team WWF, and they're taking on members of the Alliance here. So we've got Bubba Ray and Devon. We've got Hugh Morris. We've got Tommy Dreamer. We've got Chuck Palumbo and Sean O'Hare. Meltzer would say Farouk looked like he was trying to break Palumbo's jaw with a clothesline. Do you realize if the reverse would have ever happened, everyone would be saying how Palumbo doesn't know how to work, but if Farouk does it, he's just teaching him a lesson. Match was a lot better than expected as everyone got to do their finisher and have it broken up until Show pinned Dreamer with a choke slam. What do you make of Meltzer saying, hey, there's a double standard between WWF guys and WCW guys?
Overstated. The guys are all in the same locker room. They were friends by and large. Ron worked snug, which I love him for. It's just another under conspiracy horse shit that makes people click or makes people read or makes people talk. There was no overt animosity. Now, here's the deal. Meltzer could have been getting calls from these guys and they make up a story or they embellish a story. So he could say, well, I have no good authority that this is what's going on. No, you have no good authority what one guy's opinion is of what's going on. You're not there. And, I was in charge of talent relations when this whole thing went about. All these guys had no issues because talking to me about issues or problems or it's cash or creative anyway. You know what they're going to talk about. They're predictable as hell. So the Giant gets the hot tag, Big Paul White. And, he was at a manageable weight right there. He looked pretty damn good. The big boy did. And then Bradshaw scores with a massive clothesline. So was that a shoot? Were they sending a message? Was it a payback? Oh, come on. God, I want to puke. So they got the nice comeback going on. You got a lot of ECW representation that Heyman, I'm sure, was loving because you got the Dudleys. Just give a 3D to little Spike Dudley. So the comeback in the end here was good. The crowd was having fun, but nobody in that match was major over. So who gets the blame? Somebody's going to be blamed for that, Conrad, because it's wrestling. Somebody's going to be blamed for that. as Big Bill DeMont, my fullback on my team, just missed a moonsault. Of course, you got to get the worm in, right? Scotty wearing a T-shirt and Zubaz, the attire of the day. Whatever happened to Zubaz? Are they still in business?
Yeah, I think so. I know they've been trying to make a comeback in more recent years, and some of my friends have some of their silly stuff and really like it, but it was a big part of the biz once upon a time. Man, look at that choke slam. My goodness, Big Show has so much power.
Nice big choke slam. Tommy Dreamer honored to take the pinfall as kind of a badge of courage. So the guy that got over, if you want to say over in this particular presentation, was the Big Show. He was booked to have the big comeback, and he was booked to have the choke slam win. So
team Team WWF victorious.
Yep. What a vagabond group that in the ring now. Acolytes are big too. You know, they're underrated as far as the team's concerned in my book. They're what you look for. They're going to be at work on time. They're going to bust their ass. They're going to lay their shit in.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.